And this is 91.3 FM, WCUW in Worcester, the Dr. Chris Radio Horror Show Christmas Special. And tonight on Radio Horror, I'm of course flying solo, but this is a pre-recorded interview we did the week before Christmas with my co-host Jess-O-Lantern, who is a singer-songwriter from the New York area, who's going to be on now being interviewed and not hosting the show, talking about what she does, where she comes from, who she is, why she is, what she is, where she is.
It's all very philosophical.
I know, it really is. Jess-O-Lantern on Radio Horror, everybody. Yay!
Hello, everyone.
My half-assed enthusiastic yay due to the fact that we're both under the weather. So, Jess, tell the folks at home who are not familiar with who you are and haven't been paying attention to the show the last 2 weeks, who you are.
Well, boys and ghouls, I am an acoustic horror punk act. I am a solo musician. I write spooky songs with horror themes, and I wear monster makeup when I perform. I give out trick-or-treat candy at every one of my performances, no matter what time of the year it is. I love monsters and all things Halloween.
Where did all this start?
Well, I've been playing guitar for about 16 years.
Okay.
Since I was a wee tot.
A wee tot?
I originally was just playing music and writing music, just as a hobby and not really anything very specific. I started performing as Jess-O-Lantern about 4 years ago.
Does Jess-O-Lantern have her own backstory of who she is, like Elvira does?
See, that's the thing. I've always felt like Jess-O-Lantern is me. It's an extension of who I am. It's not so much a character because, unlike the great Cassandra Peterson, it is a character in itself, but it's also just me. I don't actually have a backstory for her, and I don't speak about her, which feels weird, in third person because I am Jess-O-Lantern.
That's not cool at all. I was expecting this whole backstory about who you were. Like you rose from the pumpkin patch, or you crawled your way out of the ground of a coffin and stitched yourself back together, or you birthed up out of the chest of some demon, like a xenomorph, an alien.
I would like to maybe, instead of having my own lore, I think it might be more cool if people did kind of come up with multiple different versions of where I might have come from, just like you just said. Because I mean, I put unlike some, I'm not going to talk, poorly about the genre. I love my genre. But a lot of the material that comes out of this genre is inspired by horror movies, which is great. It's wonderful. But I try to steer away from writing specifically about existing content. And it's more so where my roots were about writing songs from the heart and writing songs about, me and my experiences, but turning them into, spinning the top a little bit and making it into a horror song, or seeing it through the lenses of a horror film, or a tone of a horror movie. So in that regard, my music, I don't consider it fictional. So I don't consider myself a character. But I love a good backstory. And I think it would be really funny to have multiple different mythos surrounding Jess-O-Lantern.
Yeah, you should create something, oddly weird, like you.
I feel like everyone else might be able to come up with better ideas than I. You just spouted off 4 different origin stories.
I want to create create songs based on pre-existing horror concepts like the Misfits do.
Well, I mean, it's not just the Misfits, like I said. I mean, it's a very predominant thing that exists in horror punk because that's exactly what it is. It's horror punk. It's about horror movies generally. But it doesn't have to specifically be about horror movies.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I like the challenge of making a song that could be, if you take out a couple specific keywords, that could very well just be an indie song or just a love song.
Yeah.
But suddenly now it's about ghosts or, zombies or digging graves.
Are there a lot of Gravedigger songs out there? I'm not familiar with any.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, really?
I'm actually working on another one right now.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a concept one, but I haven't really had time to actually work on it.
I have a Gravedigger story I'm working on for an anthology, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to get done in time by the time it's due, which is January 7th, with everything else that I've got going on. She gets into a car accident with her best friend, and she is able to talk to dead people, and she gets a job at a grave like night security guard at a graveyard, while her best friend kind of hangs around, unfortunately, because she's dead and she's got no one else to talk to that can see her. Not that she's like haunting her, but they're still best friends, and of course her friend's got like half her face is missing, and like one of her breasts is like almost like ripped in half, and
of course you have to have the obligatory
boob shot. Yes. So, and she's like literally like this kind of like half walking corpse. She looks like Two-Face, like one side of her face is still really pretty, the other half is like down to the bone. And she's not like haunting her friend; she's just kind of hanging around because she has nothing else better to do. So, and she doesn't have to like her friend doesn't have to die in order for her to like move on or anything like that. It's just it's not a
normal day.
No, it's not American Werewolf in London. So so she just has to like protect this graveyard that people break into to drink and smoke weed or have a human sacrifice.
Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah, so or people who like try and like grave rob, and the spirits like come to her and be like, "They're robbing us! Help us!" Where have you performed all over New York?
Let's see. I have played at a couple places in Manhattan. Tammany Hall actually isn't in existence anymore, I believe, but Tammany Hall was one of my first shows as Jess-O-Lantern in the city. In the what I called the era of confusion, because there were a couple of shows where I was booked as Jess-O-Lantern, but I hadn't really figured it out yet. I hadn't really figured out what the stage look was going to be or what the concept was going to be. It was like a baby performance, basically. And I've also performed at pianos, at Lovecraft. In Queens, I've performed at Blackthorn 51 and Shillelagh Tavern and Irish Whiskey Bar, and there's, I can't remember if I don't think this one's even open anymore either. Another one of the baby performances, the early years, like all over really. In the outside of New York area, I did a show in PA recently at a haunted attraction. And performed at Dingbats in New Jersey a couple of times. I love Dingbats so much. It's probably one of my favorite places to play. And I've also performed up in the Catskills at Blackthorn Lodge for Jeff Mack's Halloween in the Catskills.
What do you have planned coming up in 2017 for events, besides doing this fabulous show?
Well, other than co-hosting Radio Horror, I have a couple of shows already booked in January. One in Brooklyn, another one in Queens, in Astoria, where I live. And in February, I will be performing at Glimmerdark, another Jeff Mack event.
Uh-huh.
In March, I'll be performing at Dark Side of the Con with Voltaire. I'm so excited about finally being able to see him play and perform with him. I love him. I've been getting a lot of these a lot of the Jeff Mack events because he's wonderful and his events are super fun, and it's always a great opportunity for eclectic weird people to kind of get together and be weird together. Um, yeah, I try and plan ahead as far as I can, booking in advance, but I also will have more shows popping up here and there. I do play in Queens mostly more than anything because that's where I live.
Do you have an album? Do you ever thought about putting something on vinyl of all your songs?
I have 2 CDs that I've self-produced. It was like a home recording kind of deal with one additional track that I got help from my I was in a band called Vonisper, and Kevin Vonisper and Chris Halpern, they helped me produce one of the tracks on that acoustic album called The Darkest Light.
Okay.
And then on the second release that I made was also with Chris and Kevin, and I also worked with an awesome up-and-coming band called Devil in the Belfry. They're from New Jersey.
Okay.
And they helped me with recording, and they did a lot of the bass and the drums and the extra guitars on an album called Rest in Pumpkins. I did like an independent release of that in the summer, and I'm actually almost out of every copy. I printed up about 200 of them by myself, just
Wow.
workhorsing it, burning CDs and packaging, and designing the artwork for it, printing everything up. And I've gotten to the point where I only have about like 15 each of them left. So I'm gonna try to make a compilation of both of those together onto one disc, get it professionally pressed and sent out, and hopefully by Glimmerdark in February I'll have a copy of both albums essentially on one disc. I'm also working on I have 3 new songs that have not been fully recorded yet. 2 of them are on my Bandcamp, but one of them I haven't recorded at all. I need to really pick up the slack. But those are 3 songs that are going to be going towards the next album. I've never pressed vinyl. I'm not against it. I think that would be really cool. It would be really cool to have vinyl. It's not an avenue that I've ever researched for myself, just because I'm doing all of this on my own and out of pocket. It's hard enough being in New York City by yourself. It's being a starving artist is one thing, but also being a self-produced musician is another challenge in itself. I definitely would be interested in doing something like that, though.
You got to get on that label. You got to get signed.
It's so silly, because I mean, there's so many amazing artists out there that are not on a label, and they're doing wonderful for themselves. It's strange. This day and age, getting signed isn't everything anymore.
No, it's not. 10 years ago, maybe, but even then it was still, like, barely.
Yeah, like, we're really, like, in the transitional period for it. Like, it's happening right now. Where the game has been changed. Very much so.
Have you ever been asked to sing at, like, to do, like, a wedding or bar mitzvah or anything unique?
I haven't. Not as Jess-O-Lantern, at least. I think I've been asked to sing at a wedding before, but only as, like a cover singer. It ended up not happening. Like, the wedding happened, thank God, but I didn't I wasn't able to do it. No, because I mean, it's weird. I'm a Halloween act, but I'm a year-round Halloween act. So, like, unless your audience is like ready for a weird little tiny dead girl to be on stage singing songs about monsters with a bunch of pumpkins all around her, it's something that you don't really walk into and do the electric slide to.
or you do it on a like a Halloween wedding.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I have seen some amazing, like, I haven't been to these amazing Halloween weddings, but I've seen some amazing Halloween weddings online.
Yeah.
I know my friend.
What about a Gothic Jew?
Very, what?
What about a Gothic Jew?
Womp womp womp. I was about to plug my makeup artist friend, who I am about to feature on Radio of Horror, actually. Terry Griffin. She's a makeup artist, and she's awesome. Her and her husband Carson had an amazing, beautifully done Halloween themed wedding. I'm gonna have a feature up on on her soon. I've already written the blog for her.
Oh, cool. Is she coming on?
I want to try and get her on. She lives in California, so it would be a time change thing, like scheduling it, but she's a sweetheart, and I would love to actually have a full-on conversation with her.
I got to tell you right now that, and this is not anything to do with your friend because we haven't booked her yet or tried to, so we don't know what the confrontation, if there will be any, but I've, doing this for 9 years, people have, like, the worst time trying to figure out how to do the time difference thing, especially when we're recording at a much later time when they're in the middle of a day on Sunday, kind of maybe not doing anything. I don't know what's going on in their life. Maybe they could be on set, whatever, but it's like, it's not that complicated. It's just 3 hours. Get the fuck over it and give me a goddamn answer on when you can come on the show. Now, however, that being said, if they are 6 hours ahead of us, like in Europe, I totally get it. Because by the time we would get around to recording them, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, it is like 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. It's not good, okay? So unless they're already up, or they're going to be up all night because they're just, they don't have work, or they're working on something, and they're like, sure, I'll take time out for my project. But 3 hours, 2 hours, god damn. So, again, this has nothing to do with your makeup artist. Just making a point. Some people...
Some
freaking people. Not to name anybody. You want to know who? Go back and look at 9 years of my blog posts.
Oh, goodness.
Did I tell you about that thing about, like, I wanted to do for, like, a co-host, have, like, the puppet come on and talk about the, like, the really creepy things in horror movies, whether it be, like, the gory death scene or the rape scene or whatever? Yes, totally want to do that.
I'd love for my Puppet Wednesday to be involved in these.
Oh my god, you gotta get a video camera, do yourself up in the awesome makeup, and then make the YouTube videos happen for us with your Puppet Wednesday, you and your cute goth makeup. Oh, my heart will just go, oh!
Got to. She's sitting next to me right now, actually, just grimacing at me.
Then take a picture of you two together and post it to the Facebook page as soon as you can. But people would love watching that as one of our videos more than watching, like, me talking about Final Fantasy 15 Soda, which I do a terrible job of, or, whatever it is I posted on YouTube recently. They might like the interview, but let's face it, if they saw some cute goth girl with her puppet doing things like reviews and silly stuff, oh my god, our YouTube channel would explode.
Oh, goodness.
I'm gonna use you to my advantage.
You gonna make it?
Yeah, I'm fine. The wheels in my head are slowly turning and creaking and powering through.
Anyway,
I'm not judging. I'm just saying.
all this talk of puppets. Yeah, I am a professional puppeteer by trade. That is what I do for a living.
Did you ever see the episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer with the puppet?
Of course I did.
Oh yeah, totally. And there was something else I saw with a puppet. They removed the head of the puppet, and it's got like a knife. And I think the kid like tries to stab somebody with it.
Yikes!
You never saw that one?
No.
I don't remember where that's from. It also reminds me of, I think this was a Saturday Night Live parody of a Halloween. They removed the head of the puppet and there's a dildo sticking up.
Oh, God.
And that was on Saturday Night Live.
Awkward.
Yeah. That's Saturday Night Live. Like, any kind of puppet in it, do you, like, seriously pick it apart? Like, oh my god, I can totally tell what they're doing, and they're doing this, and then they're doing that, and they're totally not even paying attention, and they're not even doing it correctly.
I really do. I do, and it's like a tick at this point. But it also, I get really excited when I see horror movies that have gone back to that now. Because when CGI came out, I sound like a grandma. When CGI started to be used more prevalently in horror movies, and they started straying farther away from, we were talking about gremlins, but physical puppets and physical things that the actors can interact with, that didn't exist. Like, that's like the Jar Jar of the equivalency here. We have to have an actual creature. That was part of the magic, is seeing the texture of the creature and the actual, it's there. It's not green screen. It's not CGI. It's physical. And now they're kind of coming back to doing that. I think BB-8's like the best example, because everybody freaked out when they realized that BB-8 was going to be a real thing.
The droid from The Force Awakens.
It made me happy. I was sitting there trying to count how many puppets were in that movie. Like I do that now.
Yeah, he was a thing attached to a guy behind him dressed in green, rolling him around on set, and then he would the crane. They had a couple different BB-8s for a couple different scenes, but the one where he's always rolling around, that was a guy just like in a green suit and green like little dummy hand controls attached to the droid in order to make a move. And then there was the BB-8 also did like stuff too. He was. It wasn't just like, oh, the puppet that rolls around. That puppet actually like had like bells and whistles built into him, so they could like make
bells
him do
and whistles.
Yeah, definitely. So that was pretty awesome how they did that. BB-8 was something you could touch and feel and hold.
Exactly. That's something that used to be in a lot of horror and sci-fi films that we've kind of strayed away from, because now, we can create this fancier thing that's not real. The actors just have to kind of guess. And it's just, I feel like you get a more organic performance from the actor when they have something to interact with. I mean, there's just...
Like Team America World Police.
Team America, yes. That is a holy grail for a marionettist. It's amazing. I watch it every single 4th of July. It's my tradition movie.
I haven't watched that since the day they killed Osama bin Laden, because it was like that movie that everyone was referring to.
Of course.
He gets killed in the movie, and when he actually got killed in real life finally, that movie was plastered everywhere, and everyone was playing the theme song, America! Fuck yeah! Lick my balls and suck on my cock, America!
The word's wrong, man!
Wait, I thought that was in the lyrics.
It's alright,
All right, we'll play the song on January 20th for everybody out there, okay?
Okay.
You know what January 20th is, right?
Remind me?
The inauguration of Donald Trump.
Oh, God. See, I've tried to already blank it out of my brain.
No, we're not actually going to play that song because we're not going to get political. These are all jokes, so don't please comment in the section below. We might play another song, maybe Taps. No, I'm kidding. However, next week, after this interview airs, we will be playing Taps in honor of, as we do every year, of everyone who passed away in 2016. We'll do like the roll call of all the different people that influenced our lives in 2016 who passed away, which that list does not seem to stop, by the way, with the death of Zsa Zsa Gabor. But yeah, we'll be doing we might play some at the end of the year. Even though it's not horror related, we might play. Oh no, maybe it is. If we play it from Labyrinth, maybe we'll play some Bowie.
Aww.
We'll play maybe the Goblin King from Bowie, or we'll play Ziggy Stardust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're bringing it back into puppets with that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Labyrinth. Did you know there's a Labyrinth ball happening up here in Massachusetts at the Higgins Armory?
Is it like the one in the peach? In the little bubble dream sequence?
Yeah.
Are they going to be wearing fancy plague masks?
Yeah. I can't go because tickets sold out within hours, but... It's happening at what used to be the former Higgins Armory, the largest collection of medieval weapons in the United States. Unfortunately, the museum was not able to stay open. They needed $12 million to stay open every year, and they weren't able to get it. And they sold off part of the collection to the Worcester Art Museum, where it still currently resides. Well, thank you very much, Jess, for stepping back from co-host duties and stepping forward as an interviewee so people can learn a little bit more about who you are. Also, why don't you give away and plug your social media?
Let's see. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/JessOLantern. You can find my music at JessOLantern.bandcamp.com. That's hyphenated, Jess, like a pumpkin, Jess-O-Lantern with the hyphens. And anyway, if you ever want to contact me, either through Facebook or the Bandcamp, you can also email me at JessOLantern@gmail.com.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Jess. Thank you very much.